Did you have anything else?
Yeah. To appoint airport commission board members and the applications they've had.
Morning, everybody.
Morning.
Morning. She's going to get there.
We need a motion on time clock system. Motion on time clock system.
Tom, we came over to watch your girls' basketball team the other night. You got a good team there, don't they?
Yes,
They've lost 2 games, 1 game,
they've lost 3 games.
3 games.
They've lost twice to Winter, and they lost once to Golden Plains.
Okay.
Winter has a 6'2" senior that's really good.
Grinnell's got a junior high girl. She's on, we played in the other day. She's good. She can dribble the ball faster than, down the court faster than any of our kids can run. Yep. So Leslie, what's your son doing in Atwood now? Is he like,
He works for DCF
what is that?
out of Colby. He's still in Atwood.
I see him the other day, I wondered what he's doing.
Yeah, he's an investigator
Okay,
for Child Services.
I like that. You like that?
I think so.
It's hard.
It's I mean, the bureaucratic part of it is a learning experience.
Oh, yeah. You can and cannot do you meet type thing?
Yes.
Yeah.
I move that we.
Okay, well, we have a resolution now. And so when it comes to the appointment of the airport commission, you have to appoint 2 for 1-year term, 2 for whatever, what is it? 2-year term, and then 3 for a 3-year term.
What she said.
All right. I appoint Clint Burge
and Mike Callicrate to a 1-year term. I appoint Clayton Janicki and Jaden Joy to a 2-year. And I appoint Dave Yost and Rodney Radcliffe to a 3-year. And how are we gonna do Alex Lingle where he's a non-voting
need a third
member?
one.
Third one for the 3 years.
I don't think
So-
they have one yet.
You've got 7, right? Yeah, so Alex Lingle would be a.
No, that's the one that
He-
lives
he's at Burlington.
Oh.
He's a non-voting member,
Oh, okay,
according to the bylaws anyway.
Right.
Is that right?
right.
No, it showed that Rodney, is he getting off?
So I don't know how we're
Excellent.
asking it long to appoint him. 1 year.
That's just the ones.
Well,
that-
technically, you can't really appoint a non-resident. They can attend the meetings and be a part of the meetings. But I
On
don't
the
think-
minutes, it still said Rodney Graceland was on there.
That's, I mean, I had him on,
But you want it off, I could.
Yeah.
yeah.
Off the minutes. It's 6 members along with Alex, who's a non-voting out-of-state member.
I think that's all they have at this time, is 6. They're still looking for another one.
My bad, I just saw.
So just leave him off then?
Yeah.
Do what?
Need a second.
Oh. I'll do that. I'll second it.
It is moved and seconded. All in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. All opposed, same sign.
Yeah, thank you for letting me make a motion finally.
You're welcome.
And I made a mistake. I read Rodney Radcliffe and I thought it was Braceland. We'll need a motion to go to actual time.
I move that we move the time clocks to an actual time.
I'll second that motion.
It's been moved and seconded to have the actual time on the for the timestamps. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Effective immediately, or?
Immediately, yeah.
Okay. Fair Board bylaws.
Okay, at the last meeting, the Fair Board was here. Nick Ketzner went down to my office, got 2 copies of the proposed bylaws. And it was my understanding that they had a meeting coming up quickly. They were gonna take those bylaws to that meeting, and sign if they approved and then get them back. So we'll need to follow up with the Fair Board to see where they are in approving those bylaws.
Table.
Did you have anything else?
I did, but I can wait until afterwards.
Come on up, Tom.
Good morning.
Morning, how are you?
I'm doing fine.
Good.
What I presented you was a proposal, a bid on a building that I would like to get, not myself, but a lot of people would like to get constructed down at the Amusement Authority. I got this bid through Brock McAtee and for $71,100. The building will be a 30 by 50 wood frame, metal clad. There will not be any skylights in it, no windows to keep, from breakage or anything like that. There'll be a 4-foot steel walk-in door so that they can get mowers and things like that in and out without having to raise the big door. The big door will be a 20 by 10 foot overhead door. We're going with a door that is insulated. Even though the building will not be insulated, an insulated door will stand up better structurally from being lifted up and down. It'll be a cement floor. The floor will be constructed so that it can handle a skid steer weight that might go into that building. There'll be an approach for the big door. There'll be an approach for the 4-foot door. The big door will have 2 poles setting to kind of protect the corners. The reason we're going with a wood frame is the goal would be to put a loft in it so that we can put prizes up there. Right now, they're having to stack any leftover prizes above the restroom in the little building that they work in. Also, other things, there's 2 riding mowers, there's benches that get stacked in there, there's weed eaters. They have a hot water pressure washer that they have to get out every year to wash all the grease off of the mechanisms, so that way the inspector can see it clearly enough to make sure that there's no cracks or anything like that. The inspections each year is costing $10,000. So if we have a rain out a couple of nights, the guys would be in trouble. There would be no heat in the building, and there will be no water. All they'll do is they'll have to have electricity brought over from a pole so that they can have 220 in case they need to run a welder or something like that to work on things. The reason that I have come to you is I talked to the Hanson Foundation, the main group, and I asked them if they would help with this project, and they said, who owns the ground that this building is going to go on? And I said, well, actually, the county owns the ground, not the amusement authority. And they said, we will not give any money to an organization that doesn't own the ground. So what I'm hoping for is that you folks would be the pass-through for this money. You do not have to raise any money at all. I would go out and get grants. I would get private donations to get to this goal. So the 2 checks that you would need to write at the end of all of this is one to Brock McAtee for the building, and then I'm going to add another $900 because I would like to have a sign of recognition for not only Hanson, but any private donors that give to this building. And so I'm just kind of making a guess that $900 would cover that. So I will be looking at trying to raise $72,000. But that organization has been going since 1981, and they have never had a designated building. You know, they've had to go to Jenkins Hall or the food court, to put this stuff away. And one thing that they have to do is like the little plane rides. They take them down and they put them in the merry-go-round building. Then when the inspector comes, they've got to take them out. The inspector looks at the merry-go-round to make sure everything's okay. Then they put the planes back in, then they take them back out when they set the rides up for the fair. We all know that when you keep moving things around, things get bent, scratched, and so this would be a building that they could take the kiddie car rides, the plane ride, a lot of the seating that you leave it out, then the weather starts deteriorating a lot of the materials on it. But this would be a building that they could store that stuff. So my main ask for you guys today is if you would consider taking the money in as I get it and holding it and then passing it through when the project is completed.
So basically what you're asking is for the commissioners to approve the construction of this building and for you to proceed in obtaining grant money.
Mm-hmm.
And
Basically for the county then.
right, for the county.
Yes, yeah.
Asking for permission to basically write a grant for the county to build this building.
Yeah, because it has to go through you guys because you own the ground.
Right.
Right, yeah.
But it can't
The
be
county,
county
the
owned.
county would be asking for the ground.
Well,
Well,
the county would own it.
it will be the county's building.
Okay,
The
Just for insurance reasons.
Yeah, the amusement authority will utilize it, and if they ever fold or disband, then that is your building. Yeah. The two proposed sites, if you're interested in that, the Twister is an antiquated ride. That's the one that was so loud, so that is being taken out of there. That's one area that this proposed construction would be. The other one is north and east of the Ferris wheel. There's an area there that they use for handicap parking, and they could put the building in there. So that's the two proposed locations. Wherever it is, they'll need to get electricity to it. But and you may ask me some questions I do not know, but I'll sure get information and get back with you.
Do you want Dawn in here to know about this? Like the grant money and stuff? or-
Do we have to set up a fund or a line item,
You have to set up a grant line.
grant line in the general?
I don't know what it's in the.
Yeah, maybe, why don't you go grab it?
Can Hanson Foundation give money to the county?
Yes.
Yes.
They can?
Yes. Any 501c3,
Okay.
they can, yeah. Uh-huh. And I'm trying to be optimistic. I think I can get the 20, well, it's going to be about 22,000. I think I can get that raised from private donations. If I can have these other entities fall in line like I'm hoping for, that means that I would need to raise 22,000. And, you know, if I divided 22,000 up 5 ways, that wouldn't be that much for you guys just to write a check.
You're right.
Willie, don't faint. Don't faint. But
Headache.
But anyway, I just think there's enough, and I don't want to go to businessmen up and down the street. I want to go to farmers and ranchers that really know what a storage building means to them on their operation and all. I think that means a lot to those folks.
Kelly Fruin called me 2 days ago and asked me to stop in for the meeting. Told me about Tom's project. He told me that probably the insurance would be about $1.90 a square foot.
It's about 140 is what he kind of had a figure.
Yeah.
He called me and talked to me.
Yeah.
How's that figure?
He said $2 a thousand.
Oh, 1,000.
$2 a thousand.
1,000 square feet. I thought he said.
No,
square.
$2 a thousand for what the building is. So, $2 on 72,000 is about 140, what? $8, something like that. And the amusement authority, I've talked to them and they said they would be more than happy to reimburse the county for that, money. And they'll maintain the
Nobody else
building.
does.
Right now, Bill Ehrman has spent 30 years down there keeping things going. Greg Walls, 29 years, and Susie Walls, 27 years. And to me, that warrants somebody stepping up and saying, you know, we appreciate what you've done.
Absolutely.
And here's a building to help you do things in and protect what you've put together.
I guess I would be more interested in, I don't want to give up the handicap parking, but just in case down the road they want to put another ride in,
Okay?
that you'd be able to put it where that old one's at.
Right, right.
If we take that out, because that's already fenced.
True, okay. Well, I can definitely
I mean,
tell them
Does
that,
that make even sense to you? Because I
Well-
would think down the road, we're going to be looking at some rides.
yeah. Actually, Bill and Greg would like to have it where the twister is. And Susie would kind of rather have it over there. So absolutely, yes, I can visit with them and,
Well, I probably, where the Twister's at, it'll be easier to bring stuff into the rides.
Yeah, kind of more
and
central.
that's the guy's thinking, yes. But another thing about having a loft is if Susie could ever maybe get some prizes bought ahead of time at a cheaper price, because every year these prices go up.
Right.
She could actually maybe buy ahead and have a place to put them. Because she likes to trade things out, not do the same thing every year. So this would give her an opportunity to put more stuff in and then, well, make it nicer for the little kids. And also with that building, they could put some of their games in there. Right now, they're going in that van. And in the long run, they would like to kind of either move that or do away with it. But I definitely would mention that about location, absolutely.
That's another my, I think it probably, I don't know how much of that we lease, how much area we lease there.
I don't know.
Well,
I doubt if it's even on record.
and it probably doesn't matter, because once the building is on the ground down there, it's yours no matter where it's at. Even if we put it up by Ewing's house, it's gonna be your building.
5.5 miles.
That'll be my next project, if you help me out here. So basically, that's what I'm asking, if you guys would serve as the pass-through for this money on the building.
I don't even know what kind of question to ask you.
What they want to do is the commissioners are going to approve that a building be constructed on the fairgrounds. And they are going to ask that Tom prepare the grant
Okay,
to get the monies.
okay,
And so it'll be a county-owned building,
okay,
and the money will need to come into the county as grant money.
okay. And then go out,
Right.
Right.
okay.
As the expenditures come in.
I'll just make it, line item in grants. We had a safe room grant line item, we had all those others that we've now closed, so I can just name it whatever, Tom's building.
Yeah, okay.
Tom's cabin.
We can name it appropriately and.
Okay.
Yeah, Rogers.
It's super easy
Okay.
to do
All right,
item.
there
and
you
be
go.
trackable.
All right.
I just wanted you to know what was going on.
Yep, no, that's, whatever, just let me
Make a
know when
motion
it's
to
a
do
done
what?
deal and
So
I'll
what
get
are we
it.
gonna
You had
set.
questions I couldn't answer?
We're gonna create a line
No,
item.
that's an easy
So they
one.
probably don't approve the grant until you have matching funds.
Well, I'll start working on getting grants sent in right away.
I'd make a motion to approve him to go.
And
Get
to
grants.
create a line item
Yeah,
for this?
create a
Okay.
line item.
Well, a motion to approve the project for Tom to pursue the grants and that a grant line item be established.
Okay.
So moved.
That's the way I do it.
Okay, I'll second that.
All right, it's been moved and seconded. All in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. All opposed, same sign. Thank
Okay.
you for your
Good
work.
luck, thank you, Tom.
Thank you very much.
Have a good day.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thanks, Tom, for doing that. I've been
Appreciate
down
your
there to help.
support.
Tom, thanks for doing that. I've been down there to help them, but what I missed. They needed it so much.
That's all you guys needed me for?
What you're doing on the roads, road 15, all right, it's getting better. We'll keep at it. But we do.
You're up, Steve.
We appreciate out that one. Thanks again.
Good morning. Let's see. I have a few items here. The first item I want to take care of is, actually, it'll be a couple of them, highway permits. First one up is permit number 2023-2. It's from Sunnycrest Farm LLC of St. Francis, and they are proposing and want to put in a 6-inch water pipeline to connect two center pivots down on Road F between 14 and 15. And I guess I got that upside down.
Is that the one you want to go across the road?
Yeah.
Right, they're gonna go across
I
the
know.
road 4 foot deep at a minimum. And again, to connect two pivots. And they are going to do the work themselves. They will pack the trench and also see to it that if there's any issues thereafter, that
Compaction
they
and stuff, yeah.
keep the road in shape. They're on that road every day. So they will maintain that stretch, that little piece there that they're gonna cross. And I would like to recommend that we, that I'd like to approve this request.
Would this affect us down the road with somebody else wanting to trench across the roads? Does it set precedents or no? Or we just take them as they come?
We've,
Kind of case by case.
over the years, we've approved some if it's not really a main artery road. If it's a main artery road, we're gonna make them bore under.
Okay.
Because, there's ways around this
Yeah.
for 2 or 3 hours or how long they're gonna have it. Now, if it was on the Lawn Ridge Road, that'd be a whole different ballgame.
Okay.
We'll probably need a motion on that. won't we?
Yes.
Make a motion, we allow them to trench across whichever two of those roads were. Pardon?
Permit number 2023-2.
2023-2, just approve the permit.
Permit
2023-2.
2023-2.
2023-02. Number on that is.
Second?
All right, it's been moved and seconded to approve permit number 2023-02. All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
I think there's just one signature spot.
When they gonna do this, you know?
I don't have a date. I'm sure it'll be this spring. Okay, the second highway permit request is one we're gonna revisit from BW Telecom, putting in the fiber optic cable on Road 30. I did visit with the lead project manager on this and asked him a number of questions, some of which I think we brought up at our last meeting. One of the questions was our level of liability after we see normal wear on a road, if we lose elevation on the road and get close to where the cable is and were to accidentally strike it while we're just doing routine maintenance, and asked them this question, and they said that we would not be liable. So the county is not liable due to the cable becoming shallow and through normal maintenance. He also added too that he thinks it'll be safe for many, many years, but I did try to reiterate to him that we do see that over time, and he did point out too, though, that the older phone cables that have been buried were not buried anywhere near the 4 foot depth, more than likely, since what he was claiming. Also brought up that along Road 30, we have a couple of projects. One project would be a likely bridge replacement on off-system Bridge 60. And he said we could get together, I could get together with the contractor and to ensure that when they do lay the cable, they'll put it in a location and they can bore it through there if need be, to keep it out of the way of the bridge when we do our bridge work. We do also have a south of there, just before you make the curve, the turn on, I think it's Road Y, going back west, just on Road 30 at the south end of this project. There's a slight jog in that road right now that goes off to the east and then comes back, and we've discussed possibly trying to line that road up straight and not have the curve in it. And again, they were gonna work with us on that, and where they place the cable, make sure it's in a location that will not impede our possible project to move in this road. We don't have a date on that
Okay.
project.
What was the reason that it jogged?
There is a stream drainage that runs kind of right up into where the road should be. So it would be, there's waterway involved there. It's not a simple project, but it might be worth pursuing that down the road. Try and straighten that stretch of road right there.
So you're happy with all the answers they gave you on that?
Yep, I am. I think I did ask about locating that length of fiber optic on private ground. He says basically they just said as a last resort, they could do that. That would take time, it would slow the project and cost more, obviously. And there is an existing phone cable on that stretch, and they are gonna decommission that once the new one's
Okay.
put in. So there will still just be one cable that we're gonna need to be concerned about, and not two. I assumed they were gonna decommission that, but I haven't seen that anywhere. And visiting with our operator up there in that territory, he had nothing but good things to say about BW Telecom. He says when he's come across any of their cables that have become exposed in the past, that they were on it right away and getting it retrenched and buried. They didn't waste any time. We don't always see that from other phone companies. We still have cables that are exposed to this day that have been exposed for probably years now.
Okay.
So they are, I think, a pretty responsible company.
Okay.
With that, I'm comfortable with approving the project and then seeing to it that we work together on those two locations, the off-system Bridge 60 and then the final stretch of Road 30 on the south end of the project.
Is that a resolution of some kind or just
It's just a
Highway
permit.
a permit?
And it's number, 2023-01.
I move we approve the permit.
2023-01.
Yeah.
Good.
Second.
Second,
All right, it's been moved and seconded
obviously.
to approve 2023-01. All in favor signify by saying aye. All right. It was Logan that collapsed that bridge, wasn't it?
Correct. That brings me to my next item, and that's an update on the bridge collapse up on Road BB, located in between roads 19 and 22. It was off System Bridge 50. That bridge had been recently inspected by Penco on January 25th, 2023, and with that inspection, the engineer stated that there had been no changes since the prior inspection. In other words, it was in the same condition it was prior. It's a posted bridge, 10 tons. And I have visited with Penco, and they are gonna come back up. We don't have a date, but they are gonna come back and go over the site where it collapsed, and then also they're gonna be looking at the other bridges on that road to ensure that there's not been any further damage to those. Right.
Because of the weight that's been going over them.
Right, and that was brought to my attention through, I can't remember the individual's last name, but Len from KDOT. He's been in contact with myself. We've been emailing a little bit yesterday, but, and I'll point that out to Penco and make sure that they look at the other bridges. And I'm assuming they will, but I'll make sure they do. I'm sure they'll plan on doing that.
Did they weigh that truck or anything? Or-
I haven't heard back from the State Patrol. They were at the site after the accident, if you will, and doing the investigation, and they are gonna get us the report when they're completed. I don't have a date when we'll get that, but hopefully soon. We're gonna look at probably right now, we're bouncing around some different options. Obviously, I'd like to see that open back up as soon as possible, but given the, possible damage to the other bridges, we may wanna, proceed with a little bit of caution until we get, the other bridges looked at again to ensure we're
think
okay.
that's good.
On that. If we're okay, and those bridges haven't changed any since the inspection back in January, one option is to go in, remove the damaged bridge, drop into 4-foot culverts, kind of make it a, if you will, a low water crossing that can handle some rain. We'd have to post it though to make sure that people don't drive through there if there is water coming down. We do have 2 4-foot culverts on hand. And then proceed with getting a more permanent structure put in. I talked to Jordan from Penco a little bit about going with a kit bridge, something that's an arched culvert. And my thinking there is maybe we could get a contractor to be able to come in and do it a little sooner, because that would probably not take near the time to install as just a regular, from scratch constructed bridge. So that's one thought. There's concrete box culverts, another possibility. Or just a large, straight corrugated metal pipe. Jordan is gonna do a drainage analysis on that watershed or the drainage right there, because it is not a typical drainage, because he mentioned that it's almost like a funnel, as steep as it is up there, and it creates some different dynamics on how the water comes down through to make sure whatever we do, it'll handle the water. Yeah, and it can come down, I think, hard and quick and come up fast. So, that's just kind of a brief overview on where we're at on that situation. And like I said, I'd like to see us get it to where we can get traffic through there again as soon as possible. Another option is a shoe fly right away, but right now I'm not real fond of that idea. I'd rather, at some point, we may have to do that, put in a shoe fly when we're doing the bridge work. But at this point,
I have no idea.
I'm sorry, it's just a little go around, like at
Okay.
Hell's Canyon,
Okay.
similar to that.
Not a lot of traffic on that road.
Well, usually not,
But I
with the
mean,
well
with the
traffic,
well
that's,
traffic.
and that's where I don't wanna see them to use that. If that would be the problem with the shoe flyers, they would probably end up trying to go down through there, and then maintaining that is gonna be a challenge. And I'll have to check and see how the posting on the signs is gonna work. If we keep it a closed road, local traffic only, but I still think people are gonna probably end up going around.
Yeah.
And we do have it barricaded. I do have some picture, but it's a double barricade on both sides at the bridge, and then also up on 22 and at 19. We've got a double barricade up there, and the one on 22, we've got it barricaded with the road closed to the back, but the front, we've got road closed 1.5 miles ahead, which it is. And that's so at Hiltz, they can get traffic in and out of there. And they still need to have people be able to come in and out of there on the east end of this. So, but that's where we're at on that. I don't know if you guys have any more questions on that at this time.
I just think it's neat that you're up to date on having all the bridges inspected. That way we can say in January it was fine, and that's good to have that.
Yep.
So thank you.
It was good timing on that.
Have they got them all inspected?
Yes, they did. They completed their
They
inspection.
completed them?
They did. And I'll be in contact with Jordan, with Penco, probably on a regular basis for a while
We
here.
just passed that not very long ago, that contract.
Yep. Yeah, they got on it right away. I'm glad they did. Last item, if there's no more questions on the bridge, we did do some more investigating on the window replacements on the graders. Looks like it's $1,000 deductible per unit, or
Per windshield.
per windshield.
How many do you have?
Well, I've got just a total dollar amount. We've got 4 graders that need either at least one. Some of them need 2, and these are gonna be in the front. It's either gonna be the main windshield and or the 2 bottom ones, and I mentioned, well, maybe we could let those go, where they maybe just have a single crack, but I've not been on a grader enough to, and I do understand right when he said it, but you do use those lower windows quite a bit. You're watching what your table's doing, what your blade, how it's set, and some of them are bad, they certainly need it, and some just have, a couple of cracks on them. The windshields are either cracked or severely pitted, and you run into a visibility issue when you're dealing with sunlight, at morning and at dusk. And that total came to $4,136.84, and that would be for the glass, and then we would have the individual here in town, I can't remember his name, Church?
Yeah, Jacob Church.
Was gonna do the installation on those.
Are we going with the cat glass?
It's the cat glass. We've had a little bit of
We
trouble.
with the other type of glass, hadn't we?
They didn't hold up, so we were gonna try the cat glass for this project.
So we might not even use any insurance money on.
That's what I'm afraid. I mean, you're
It's just
looking
a
at,
little bit over 4,000.
you're looking at,
$136.
see if I can get a,
Turn it in.
there was one
For
on
137.
unit 111, the total came to 1644.57. So we could
Yeah, you
possibly
could turn that one.
turn that one in. All the other ones are well under 1,000, most of them. 873 on one, and then the rest are even less than that.
Yeah, I saw that one grader go by the other day. I was sitting there at the mailbox and he had duct tape
Duct tape.
holding the window on, but that was on a door.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's one that we're afraid we're gonna lose the glass, obviously, have to have duct tape on it. I don't know if we need a motion for,
I move that we let the church put in the glass at,
$4,136.34.
and that'll be just the cost of the glass. I don't have a final labor cost on
labor
that.
cost. Okay. So we just make a motion to buy the glass in?
Installation.
And it'll probably be a little while before by the time we get the glass, I could get you a quote on the installation at
Glass and
next meeting.
installation's two different people.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah, so when
So we just get a motion to buy the glass right now. right?
and before he can get up there, it will have another meeting, probably before he's even able to do the work, so we could,
So the deductible, we'd have the insulation, wouldn't the installation?
I think it should.
Oh, yeah, I know.
I'll have to check.
no, that's a good point.
They're getting
Thank you,
pretty
Roger.
picky on what they'll do on windshield.
Well,
That's,
we ought to check it out anyway. because
Right,
all of
I
them
did
might
check
get
out-
over $1,000.
Correct, yeah, I see what you're saying.
$1,000
Let's,
per windshield, so, yeah, I don't,
It's gotta be,
I
include
would
the
assume
installation.
installation, you don't know anymore. Some of these insurance companies aren't even paying for paint on car repairs. But
Kind of different
KCAM, I would think
insurance.
would be all right.
well, either way, we wanna know what the
Either way,
installation cost is, and we can get
I
that.
move that we purchase the glass from Caterpillar for the graders at whatever the,
Price was in, I'll second that.
all right, it's been moved and seconded to purchase 4 windows from Caterpillar. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye.
Dollar amount.
$4,136.34.
Okay, that's all I had. Sorry, I saving this for last when we were doing this, and this is just the most recent on the bills that have come in. Wellborn, that's the grater blades that I believe those are the grater blades. Although I thought maybe we did get 2 used radios, or refurbished radios. We didn't have any backup radios going into the end of last year. That's from I got a hole punched in mine, but from the communications. VLS, I think.
what's PYE? Is it supposed to be PPE?
PPE,
Which
one is that?
Right here, for the
Well,
St. Francis Auto is what he's talking
Yeah, but
about.
clear out on the right-hand corner side. Past them out.
Oh, over here,
BYD.
yeah. Fire for PPE, gloves, chemical resistant gloves, it's, I can't remember the dollar amount on that, it was something around $20 or $30, and it's for the parts washing tub. Handling the parts, and it's a set of gloves for that. The signs, those are the delineators. We needed additional delineators for on bridge corners, and then plus there's and they just showed up, and I'm not sure, I don't think that's, Bill is on here, but also the light blue delineators for the address postings.
911
We needed
addresses.
to get, there's close to 20 of those that had been broken or gone, trying to get those replaced. All right. And that's all I had for today.
I had a gal stop by my office, and I'll give you a call. She wanted to talk about 13 BB and 15 BB, so I'll give you a call.
Okay.
Or call me if you don't hear from me.
All right.
Thank you, Steve.
All right, thank you very much.
You guys have a good day.
You too, bud. You're up, Eddie.
Morning, everybody.
Morning.
Hi, Eddie.
I've got some bills here that, this one's from the fire alarm people, and that could be approved today and paid next time. However, this one for the work that's being done there now, James Mellinger had given you a bill way back, but then he requested half payment, so you pay materials and stuff now. And, I know the way the 2 weeks show, so anyway, he'd requested that, but Scott wanted a specific bill for that.
Well,
But he-
thinking about that now, it just needs to be approved.
Okay. So anyway, he thought, Benz, I didn't get this till yesterday, that it could be paid today, is that right?
Yeah, we should be
Okay,
able to.
good deal.
Probably get it done before the meeting. If you guys want to make a motion on that.
So, pay for the entire bill, did you say?
No,
of it?
half.
Just the material. I'll make a motion, we give James Millinger Construction the amount of $5,322 for material.
No. And that's half of his original, half of his original estimate. And that final number's gonna be a little different. Originally, he didn't think he could do the baseboard around all that area. And we thought, well, if we can at least get that room and the sheetrock, all that buttoned back up. But he decided he was gonna have time to do that other baseboard part. So it's not included in that original bill estimate that he had. So there'll be a little more forthcoming,
Okay.
but while he's there and he's got the mud out to patch that and the paint and all that to do that room, so it needed to happen in one motion, being he's gracious enough to go ahead and do it while he's there, so.
All right, it's been moved and seconded to pay $5,322 to Millinger Construction. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Well, they did.
Let me see that and see if we can get a check here right quick.
And then Daniel Wilkins is called, and I don't know where you're at, I mean, that bill's been presented, I don't know, a month ago or 6 weeks, I don't know when. You've seen this bill, right?
Yes.
Yeah, I've got copies of it if you,
I think that Scott needs to be in here for this part of it.
okay, good.
How's that? So I think he's the one with the answers.
Question.
Grab me some coffee real quick.
Do that too.
So does she have his mailing address? It's probably on that bill.
She's gonna try to have it done so you
Oh, good.
can pick it up.
Very good. That'd
Before you
be
leave.
Good. Fantastic. Thanks for getting that taken care of. So, curious where we're at on that Dan Wilkins bill that was turned in.
Still waiting on the insurance company. Hopefully,
Well, he's calling me and I don't like that because
we're still waiting for the guy to get back from,
I'm in the middle
Vacation.
of this. Oh yeah, I was gonna be gone for 3, starting today. Glad you mentioned that. Well, our board feels like it needs paid. He did the work and he uses Xactimate, which is the same program that adjusters used. So the numbers plugged in here are all worked out to that same program that the adjusters used. And we're comfortable that he did this, and if, you know, and the adjuster says, you know, that's an estimate to be, and this is allowing for this work to be done regular business hours. Oh, no overtime or premium time. Well, Christmas morning's premium time, I'd guess, in my book. And so there might be some things there. And there's another thing here for emergency mitigation measures. Well, most of what he did, that's what that was. So it kept the loss from getting worse and worse. So part of that bill needs to come under that line. That's the way it looks to us as a board. But, I mean, if there's gonna be questions asked about what was done up there, we would like to question what the service master did, because they weren't very productive. It didn't look like they did much. The staff didn't see much, we didn't see much action. They were standing around. And there's no doubt Dan got in there and worked his tail off. I mean, so, and his bill is $29,000, Service Master's $25,000. So if there's a debate on billing, Service Master needs triple checked. So I don't know. This, there you go. You can have that copy. Do you want one? I mean, you've got one. I'm just trying to get rid of mine. I mean, we feel it needs paid. I mean, I don't know that this has to be, we've got X amount of money in that claim. I don't know that it needs special